Tinubu is a legend, man. Tinubu, there's no other way to say it. Like, I don't know how he keeps pulling this stuff off. In my previous video where I compared Tinubu to James Bond, I was railing on Chicago State University, attacking them that why wouldn't they release Tinubu's result? It turns out that even Chicago State University doesn't have his results. My first thought is, why didn't Chicago University say something all this while? Like, they could have easily come out early on. Before we get into that story, I want to do a little preface. In my last video, I covered the tribunal ruling, which was a disaster in many ways. Apparently, Peter Obi and Atiku, they said they are still going to the Supreme Court, and that is not over, which I very much am in support of. And I commend Peter Obi and Atiku for taking this extra step, because a lot of the rulings that the appeal courts gave, like, they have very far-reaching consequences, on Nigerian elections going forward. As it stands now, nobody trusts INEC. Like, that's one. And they gave some rulings that kind of contradict some rulings in the past that the Supreme Court themselves had given. If we leave it at this, it would mean that, for example, INEC has no responsibility to be accountable for their vote count. INEC can just come out on the day and announce anybody as the winner of the election, and they don't bear any responsibility to show you how they arrived at that result. So now let's get into the Chicago State University statement they gave in court. Obi King to ease no eye, coming out with the music to ease your mind. Hi guys, it's Obi King once again in the house with another video for you guys. Today I'm speaking on this developing story on the evergreen Tinubu certificate scandal. The headline says, US court adjourns Atiku records case as Chicago University denies knowledge of certificate Tinubu submitted to INEC. Ladies and gentlemen, what more proof do you need than this? Tinubu has already said that that certificate came from the university itself, and I covered it in a previous video. He said that he blamed the university clerk for the anomalies certificates. Now the school is coming out and saying they have no idea where he got that certificate from. So normally, as in a sane country, our institutions would get to work on this, but well, it's still yet to be seen. This is a fresh story, so we'll see how it goes going forward. Of course, here is the dreaded fake certificate. I really must commend Atiku for going this extra mile, taking it to the US court. Atiku may have known about these things for a long time. Atiku and Tinubu were friends in the past. I mean, they were in the same political party. That's the reason I think Obi really didn't go this route, because I don't think Obi knows any of these things. His own is just, give me my votes. I won the election, give me my votes. Now let's get into the story. The United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois on Tuesday adjourned ruling on a subpoena application for Bola Tinubu's records from Chicago State University shortly after the institution denied knowledge of a certificate the Nigerian president submitted to the country's Electoral Commission INEC to run for office. That's it right there. Like, there's nothing more. I could end this video right there. Before Judge Jeffrey Gilbert in Chicago State University lawyer Michael Hayes categorically stated that the school was not in a position to authenticate Mr. Tinubu's certificate as either fake or genuine, a position that contradicts the school's previous assertions that it issued a certificate to Nigerian politician after he graduated in 1979. Is the diploma authentic or is it a forgery? My client can't answer yes to either of those questions, Mr. Hayes said at the hearing in Chicago that began at about 1:30 p.m. local time and lasted several hours in the lawsuit brought by Atiku Abubakar, Mr. Tinubu's main challenger during the February 25 presidential election. I'll dispute that. The main challenger. That's Obi now. Come on. The lawyer insisted that the school administrators, if asked under oath, won't be able to certify Mr. Tinubu's certificate because they just don't know where he obtained it or how. Mr. Hayes was responding to the judge's inquiry into the school's ability to confirm under oath that Mr. Tinubu was issued the certificate he tendered to Nigeria's electoral office as part of his final eligibility paperwork in June 2022. It's against the Nigerian constitution to submit dubious documents to INEC, our politicians, including governors, have been ousted for similar infractions. I think the major factor here is that oath. Because the school's previous assertions that he issued certificates to Nigerian politicians, but now they are in court and is under oath and people can get arrested for telling lies under oath. Now they are saying they don't do. So it's getting even more interesting. I didn't think I would still be speaking on this topic till now, but man, Mr. Hayes insisted that CSU records showed Mr. Tinubu attended the school, okay, but admitted there were several contradictions that the school administrators won't be able to clarify under oath. Those discrepancies include the June 22, 1977 date that Mr. Tinubu's certificate carried, as well as the school's president at the time the certificate was obtained, and typographical, font, and header errors on the document. There was also a logo error. I don't know why. I don't know why they are skipping that. The logo was different. On June 17, 2022, Mr. Tinubu submitted a certificate to INEC that was purportedly issued in 1979 and signed by Honora Daniel. But Ms. Daniel only arrived at CSU in 1998 from Hampton University. Follow this. 19 years after Mr. Tinubu was said to have graduated. She then left the school in 2008 following a financial mismanagement scandal, or 14 years before June 2022, when CSU issued yet a fresh certificate in Mr. Tinubu's name under subpoena from a Nigerian lawyer who had inquired about Mr. Tinubu's education there. Let's look at this thing. The certificates that Tinubu gave to INEC, that he said that was given to him in 1979, that he submitted to run for election. Apparently, the authenticating signature on the certificates was from somebody that just joined the school in 1998. How is it possible that this person's signature is on a certificate that was issued in 1979? You understand? It's not even possible. So she arrived in 1998, 90 years after Tinubu has graduated, then left the school in 2008 following a financial mismanagement scandal. And this brings up a lot of questions. It's possible, now this is just a theory, it's possible that the school was running like a certificate scam. Maybe some people in the school are running like a certificate racket. You understand? And maybe Tinubu benefited from that. Because from really, it doesn't make any sense. It's just something that you go into his records and bring out a certificate. But they can't do that because they don't have it. They're saying they don't have it. Atiku's lawyer in this saying, Your Honor, we don't know whether Nigerian Supreme Court would be receptive to the new evidence or not, but we just want to be able to present the new evidence to them from CSU. We already have the documents. What we are seeking is CSU's authentication or their explanation of some of the discrepancies. So the final resolution of this was that the judge said he would need additional time to reflect before ruling on the matter, but asked lawyers to all the parties to go through records submitted before the court and update them on it. Then update them if necessary in the meantime. He said a date for a final ruling or additional hearing will be communicated to the parties. Tinubu has successfully confused Chicago State University, and the U.S. court judge too is confused. Like, he doesn't even, it's just like, look, you guys should go and find more information. There's also some more developing news on this story, because apparently one of Tinubu's classmates has emerged, from hiding. One of Tinubu's classmates in Chicago State University.
Mr. Drew Jai Ogunsoya is a public affairs analyst. Thank you very much for coming. But I guess the other thing that is of interest here is that you happened to be in that same school with him.
Yes.
Chicago State University, right?
Right.
Well, he studied accountancy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
What did you study, sir?
Accounting. We're in the same department.
You were in the same accounting in the same department.
Yes, we're the same class.
Now tell me about this, because as you know, there are those who seek to make the case that he didn't, in spite of the fact that university has indeed provided them with evidence that, yep, he was one of our students, he took a degree in accounting, but you see, people can still go ahead and do what they will do. This is the nature of, I suppose, law and all of that. They can try. But I'm interested because one of the things we hear is that President Tinubu, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as he then was known, we don't know anybody who went to school with him. Well, here you are live in the studio. You actually did go to school with him.
Yes.
Now tell me about that.
Why are you leading him? Let me just finish this. I'm sorry.
Did you meet in school, or were you like buddies before going into the university, the application? Tell me about that whole scenario, because it will be interesting, so to speak.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yes, we met in the school, Chicago State University, and we were in the same department, College of Accounting, Business and Administration, with major in accounting.
Yes, yes.
With major in accounting. And we were in the same class together, and we graduated. He did attend the university, Chicago State University, and he graduated 1979.
Okay, as you did.
As I did.
In 1979.
Yes, so I'm here to testify that he did attend the university and he was a good student.
Well, you were classmates with him, and I suppose, your supervisors, your lecturers have testified to that in the certificate that was issued to him. But when you were hearing all this noise, I think is the way to put it, that, we were going to contest whether or not he went to Chicago State University. What were you thinking when you heard that?
Yes, people were being mischievous in the first place because he was a governor for 8 years. Somebody who worked for Mobile for several years, and you're contesting that he didn't go to college university. How is that possible?
I'm just going to play the audio footage from Chicago State University's lawyer, where he's talking about Tinubu's certificates. Just a short clip.
So, if a deposition is compelled of my client here, and the issue is, was the June 22nd, 1997 diploma that President Tinubu submitted into evidence in Nigeria or offered to the whatever that election agency there is. My client is that authentic? My client's going to say, we don't know. And we do not have his actual diploma to compare it to. We don't have whatever diploma was issued to him in 1997. We can certainly verify that the information on that diploma, his date, the date of his graduation, which, by the way, is on his transcript that is in the public proceedings already. So there's no question that June 22nd, 1997 was his actual date of graduation. But beyond that, and with the sideshow of this copy diploma that is now being raised, where the date there was a mistake made, and whoever ordered it and whenever they ordered it, a mistake was made. Other than that, my client doesn't have anything to say about these issues.
They don't know anything about what Tinubu submitted to INEC. That 979 certificate, they are not aware. But Tinubu graduated, like they do have records that Tinubu graduated in 1997. This is the part that blows my mind. If he really does have a diploma that was issued in 1997, he could have submitted that one instead to INEC to avoid all of this. The school is even more confused than we in Nigeria. But the fact of the matter is they don't have whatever certificate Tinubu submitted to INEC. And that is supposed to be the major bone of contention. Tinubu's certificate is still in doubt. And the appeal court has already gone ahead to clear him of all charges. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Check out my previous videos. I've been following this for a long time. Thanks so much for watching. Once again, my name is Obi King, and I'll see you guys in the next one.